the Nikon ZF in landscape photography. Out of the box, it's a 24 megapixel camera, but switch on pixel shift and suddenly Nikon promises you 96. Could this be the ultimate solution? Well, it's a bit like my Pajero Mini. 5 valves per cylinder, a configuration lifted from a Ferrari. Turbocharger on a 660cc engine, which, for context, is about a shot of vodka in Poland. A warm-up before the real drinking starts. So yes, the turbo makes a lot of noise, but the engine's still tiny, just like pixel shift. Dramatic claims, but your sensor hasn't grown an inch. Nikon's version of strapping a turbo to a lawnmower. Impressive on paper, but can it actually get you anywhere? To test that, we've come to one of my absolute favorite locations in Kagawa. That's pretty much the entire prefecture, as you can see behind me, along with Seto Inland Sea. Now, I need to be a bit wary, because I like to pop out on this rock. There's about 10-meter drop to this side, even more to that side. And as if falling wasn't enough, there's also a buffet of insects, snakes, monkeys, and possibly bears. Something crawling towards me and away from me. This place is full of bugs. Let's get out. This is where pixel shift is supposed to shine. 96 megapixels of pure detail. Every leaf, every blade of grass, every rock that looks suspiciously like a potato. But remember, it's still the same 24 megapixel sensor, just shuffled around like a bored kid with a Rubik's Cube. So let's pack up, head back to the studio, and find out if Nikon's turbocharged lawnmower can actually climb a hill. So, is this some clever engineering? Or just a photographic equivalent of a K-car with delusions of adequacy that sound impressive until you have to overtake a cyclist uphill? Let's start with diffraction. Physics' gentle reminder that expensive glass can't bend the laws of nature. At f11, sharper than my ex's tongue during our divorce proceedings. At f25, softer than a Care Bear's nipples. At pixel shift and, surprise, you've just made optical porridge even more porridgey. It's like asking for extra pineapple on an already controversial pizza. The laws of physics don't care about your marketing budget, Nikon. They're more stubborn than a customer service chatbot. Single frame versus pixel shift. The eternal battle between perfectly adequate and technically superior but occasionally unhinged. At 100% zoom, pixel shift wins on sharpness, provided you don't mind your foliage looking like it's been through a digital food processor, operated by an over-caffeinated intern. At 50% it's genuinely lovely, which is basically admitting you've reinvented the wheel, except this wheel costs 4 times as much and occasionally wobbles. Quick maths lesson for those who skipped classes to become influencers. 6,000 by 4,000 becomes 12,000 by 8,000. Double the width, double the height, quadruple the file size. Infinite smugness factor at photography meetups when discussing image resolution. Then Adobe AI algorithms entered the chat. Basically digital wizardry that somehow became routine. At 100% zoom, Photoshop's upscale look a bit like digital snakeskin. Technically impressive but slightly artificial. Pixel shift is genuinely sharper here, no question, but Photoshop's version has 0 motion artifacts and processes in about 30 seconds, rather than the geological timescale preferred by NX Studio. Sometimes good enough is better than technically superior but monumentally inconvenient. Or there's the Stone Age technique of panorama stitching, actually moving your camera like some sort of pre-digital caveman. 6 frames merge together and suddenly pixel shift looks like it brought a butter knife to a gunfight. No artifacts, just pure resolution. Downsides? Different perspective, shallower depth of field, and it requires the kind of forward planning that makes spontaneous photographers break out in a mild rush. But hey, no NX Studio required. which is basically a gift from the photography gods. Speaking of NX Studio, Nikon's special gift to humanity that keeps on taking. Using it feels like trying to edit videos on a calculator while someone slowly removes your will to live. It's software designed by people who clearly view user experience as a foreign concept. Progress bars move with the enthusiasm of continental drift, and the interface looks like it was designed in an era when high-speed internet meant dial-up that occasionally worked. The uncomfortable truth. Pixel shift does create sharper images than single frames, providing that your subject has a kinetic energy of a particularly lazy sloth. It's technically superior in the same way that an F1 car is superior to a bicycle. Yes, it sounds impressive on paper, but in real life it will only complicate things, providing marginal benefits. And here's the real question. Do you actually need 96 megapixels? That print behind me was taken on a D700. 12 megapixels from when people still believed social media would bring us together and going viral meant catching flu. It's still stunning. I'd happily print wall size from 24 megapixels today. The megapixel obsession is like judging books by their word count. Technically measurable, practically meaningless, and guaranteed to miss the entire point. In reality, I'd rather have a 6 megapixel photo of a stunning subject in stunning light rather than hundreds of megapixels of a soft potato. So, is pixel shift worth it? About as often as you need to measure things in atomic units. ZF is a brilliant camera, but pixel shift won't transform your photography any more than running shoes will make you an Olympic material. Stop chasing megapixels like the holy grail of creativity. Chase better light, better moments, better subjects. You know, the stuff that actually matters. Have you used pixel shift yourself? Share your tales of technical triumph and mild existential crisis below. And if you like this sort of reviews, you know what to do. I won't hold your hand. I'm not your mum.